Hey everybody, today I'm back with another Flame Genie video, and I'm going to take an old Flame Genie that looks like this to this. So it's been about 4 years since I've gotten my first Flame Genie, and I'm really happy with it. I like the fact that it's small, portable, comes apart, actually nests inside of itself like this, which means it's great for portability. It's nice to take on camping trips, campfires, and it's great for using it around the house, on the porch, and in the yard. And it's just easy to clean up. Okay, there's not a lot of mess. There's not a lot of wood that I've got to deal with because it's a pellet type of stove. So if you're not familiar with the Flame Genie, I'll put a link to some of my other Flame Genie videos down in the description. But look these up if it's something that you think you're interested in. I think you'll really like it. So obviously my Flame Genie has seen better days. I don't keep it outside. I actually put it back in its box most days and leave it inside of my garage, but there are some nights where it's been left out and it's got rained on, and you can just see all the rust that's built up on it, and it's kind of starting to look pretty grody. So using the Ryobi power drill and a wire brush attachment, I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna clean this up, and then I'm gonna repaint it with some black spray paint that is specifically made for barbecues and fireplaces, in order to hopefully give it a little bit more of a lasting finish. And then I'll show you what the finished product looks like. Okay, so here you can see I'm here with my Flame Genie. Top part and bottom part, both of them are pretty rusted up, pretty bad. Kind of see inside of that, just kind of what I'm talking about. You can see how it's discolored itself on both pieces, inside and out. And one thing I tried doing first was just some steel wool. So here's kind of the result that you get with the steel wool. So it gets the rust off in a superficial fashion, but it really doesn't go down and remove it to the point where I want it to. Because I'm gonna repaint this. That was taking a really long time, and really wasn't too interested in keeping on doing that. So went down to Ace Hardware and got a nice sort of hard wire bristle attachment to go on my power drill. Just slides in and out just like that, and then use that to sort of power clean the Flame Genie. All right, let's get started. And while you're using the drill to brush it, make sure you put on your safety glasses. So you can see what that Ryobi does with the wire brush adapter on there. Cleans it up real nice down to that bare metal. So that's where the Ryobi comes in with the steel brush top. And you can see I've already done quite a bit here around the rim. You can see how it's nice and clean down to the bare metal, whereas over here I've not done it. And that's literally just taking and running this over top of it for a while to get it to buff up and clean up nice. Not gonna lie though, this is gonna take some time to get all cleaned up. So I don't know, guessing maybe half hour, 45 minutes maybe with the tool to get it to where I need it before I can paint it. All right, at this point, I'd love to know if you got any better ideas than this thing. It's obviously working. You can see how it's cleaning it up. It's actually making a really nice smooth finish. It's not completely removing all of the rust spots, which I had hoped it would, but it's definitely making a nice finish. It's not as easy as doing it on the top as it is on the side. The side's a little bit harder to do because of the roundness of it, but it is cleaning it up. I think the finished product is going to be fine. It's just taken longer than I expected. So interested to see if you guys have any other suggestions. go ahead and put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. I finished with the wire brushing part of the top part of the Flame Genie. So I'll give you a little view of what that looks like, and then show you the type of paint that I'm using in order to sort of give it that new black finish that will hopefully be more resistant to a high heat environment. So it worked pretty good. You can see some areas are more shiny than others, or it actually went down to the metal. And some of these other areas I didn't buff quite so much because it looked pretty decent. And then on the inside, I didn't spend a whole lot of time on the inside, but did a pretty good job. It's kind of hard to get in some of those areas. You can still see maybe a little bit of rust in there, but this is actually really smooth. It's a little bit more discolored than anything else. So that's the part that's of course going to be burning and have the fire inside of it anyway, so I'm a little bit less concerned about that. So after one coat, you can see there's still quite a bit of rust actually popping through where I didn't get it absolutely clean of the rust during my brushing. And so any tip to someone trying to redo this, or any type of work really where you're trying to get rust off and then repaint, you've got to get the rust off all the way. And so this is going to be an issue. I'm going to repaint over it, and because this isn't something that's going to be worth my time to go to that level to repaint it completely, or to buff it all the way down and repaint it. It's just not worth it. Go buy a new one at that point. But just kind of something to keep in mind if you are going to try some type of restoration work. You got to get that rust off, because you can see it's just eating right through that paint. Only, just after one coat of paint, and then a couple days later. All right, so let's go take a look at the final results of the Fire Genie refurb. So overall, I'm pretty pleased with the final project. I know it wasn't going to be a perfectly finished, just like brand new refurbishment, but overall, I'm satisfied with it. I get the nice sheen black look that it had when it was once new. Even though I'm not going to expect this to last for several years, I didn't get all of the rust off of it, and so you can still actually see, even with 2 coats of paint, there's a little bit of the rust starting to eat through that paint already. It just goes to show that whenever you do a job like this, you've really got to make sure that you get that rust completely off before you paint it. Otherwise, you're just going to be kind of wasting your time there. So I probably would have to redo this every couple of years unless I was going to really get serious about it. But like I previously said, I'm not really sure it's quite worth that much time. So how much time did it take? Well, it was really only about an hour's worth of time total if I combine it all into what I did with the brushing of the Ryobi tool, and then the 2 coats of paint. Of course, you got to let it dry. So I did that over the course of a couple days, but it really only took me about an hour total to do all of that if I combine that time together. Would I do it again? Yeah, I probably would do it again. It really wasn't that much trouble, and this is probably going to last me for at least this season and possibly into next, especially if I take it indoors and store it. I do recommend storing your Flame Genie indoors. I would save the box if you still have it and just store it right back in the box. Again, the nesting feature of that makes it nice. And just pack it away in your garage or your shed. That way it's not out here getting rained on constantly. So once it starts getting rained on and it's exposed to the elements, it really does start to wear pretty quickly. They do make a nice cover for it that you can buy, and I would recommend purchasing that if you are planning on leaving it outdoors. I unfortunately did not purchase that, but it's probably something, if I were to purchase a new one, I would do. So that wraps up the Flame Genie refurbish project here that I was doing. If you're wondering why I've got it sitting out here on my composite deck, well, stay tuned to my channel. I will do a review of a heat retardant barrier that will actually allow you to run your Flame Genie or just about any fire pit on top of your composite decking. So stay tuned for that. I've got a couple other videos that I'll link to in the description below. If you want to find out more about my Flame Genie experiences, I'd love to see your feedback and your comments. So please post those down below. So until next time, friends, God bless, and I'll see you online.